Mr. Barnack, how are you this morning?
Feeling good. It's raining though. Kind of
Yeah, that's why I've got my
bittersweet.
back to the window.
Yeah. You need the rain because the rain's what makes everything grow. But it's like it's not fun doing stuff in the rain.
You know what? Transformation is what makes everything grow, and that rain is giving the grass a chance to. You know what? I bet that's true. I bet even as the grass grows, it's transforming, or it couldn't grow. Oh boy, I'm getting deep too. It's too early to be getting that deep. I
Just
don't know about you, but I need a recovery day.
yeah. We
I need
all
to
use
schedule a
our
recovery day,
yeah.
and not from uncontrolled partying, but from controlled learning. Consumed a lot of information this weekend.
Yep.
Well, you did too.
I did. Yeah, Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday.
Well, I'm excited about all of it that we're taking in. Today, we're going to hit another subject um, that we felt as independent broker owners. But before we do that, let me get our review done. And so I hope I get quicker with this each week so I'm not that repetitive, but I should be able to boil this down into two sentences now. But who we were an independent brokerage built for and by realtors. We had national branding and distribution aspirations right here out of Chicago, Illinois. But we ran into challenges, which we've been talking about for the last few weeks. But infrastructure and lead costs, roster revolving door, upward pressure on splits, in addition to all the costs increasing, training what was essentially training our competition because of that revolving door. And all that led to shrinking margins. Proved very difficult to be profitable, which um, creates a whole new series of problems on its own. But what we then did in response to that is, after much deliberation, probably much more deliberation than John would have preferred,
That was the goal,
um,
baby.
I I finally got it, and we merged into a national partner to help with distribution and delivery on all fronts. Now, really overnight, we've had it now for a couple of years, but overnight we got national brand leverage. We went from Illinois to, at the time, what was it, 42 states, now like 47 states, three provinces in Canada. I don't know. Don't hold me. I mean, I'm close. Um, um, but we'll be in all 50 states, I'm sure, before long. But again, overnight eliminated 90% of our overhead, risk, and liability. We are building a self-managing team of independently productive agent partners who each themselves have their own goals and aspirations, mostly like us, revolving around freedom of time, freedom of resources, freedom. I mean, just freedom. And that enabled us to immediately start growing our roster from the 22 agents that came with us to close to approaching 80 now in 8 states. We grew our closed transactions by 200% because why? Because we're such great marketers, or because we spent so much money with Zoom? No. How do we grow our closed transactions, John?
200%.
How?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said how much.
No.
How? We did it by scaling, growing our roster.
So really what we did it, the how was the who,
The how was the who.
right? We grew
Mhm.
our, it's always the who. And for leaders, team leaders, brokerage owners, uh, gang, you cannot avoid it. The red pill, the absolute truth is you got to grow your roster. That's the most profitable thing you can do for your business, bar none, in the conversation. And we did that. And the proof's in the pudding. We also leverage economies of scale. I mean, we've got access now to world-class technology, training, support. John is the managing broker of our brokerage and now the state. I'll let him put it into his words, but he's got a lot more available to him now.
Well, there's just a person for everything now. So
I knew you would put it that way.
yeah, before it was we were the people for everything, and now we
You,
have
yourself, and
who's for everything. So need help with this, go to this person. Need help with that, go to that person.
yeah. And so um, we also then decided to horizontal. So this partner gave us and our partners the ability to vertically diversify within the real estate space. We also then diversified into the money business, which was a horizontal diversification because every one of our real estate clients, we were buying and selling real estate for them, so they had additional financial needs, like auto and homeowners insurance. Just help each one of them get a better quote on that, save money. Um, so insurance, investments, and mortgages, uh, purchase, refi, home equity, HELOC, etc. And so it's going to enable it enables us to build better relationships with our clients, give the agent partners that utilize that diversification more value and more valuable reasons to stay in touch with and follow up with their clients who now, because of the interest rate environment, et cetera, aren't going to repeat, but for every 7 to 12 years. That's a long time to stay top of mind to get another deal 7 to 10 years down the road. And be it the challenge that represents or the absolute proof, I guess, that nobody really does it very well, only 12% of real estate clients repeat using their agent again, which is just abysmal. So that's who we were and who we are. Today, we're going to talk about scaling, which we kind of already started to talk about. I guess I should also say right here at the beginning, and I'm going to do a survey. I'm curious. The question will be this: what do most real estate agents want? Do they want better training? Do they want more leads? Do they want a more consistent, predictable income without giving up, their independence? And listen, we're not talking we're talking to everybody, but not everybody's going to hear us, right? What we're saying isn't going to resonate with all of you. So all of you may or may not, you may choose differently on that survey. But for those of you that say more predictable, consistent income, we get it. That's where we were. That's what we're creating. But that's also because most Americans, and I think most real estate agents, are coming from a place of financial insecurity. And yet the American dream is financial security, really financial freedom. So right up front, before we go any further and don't want to beat a dead horse at the end, we are looking for more collaborative partners to help. And when I say help us, you're not helping John and I build our business, because our job is to help you build your business. So we're looking for more collaborative partners that would like to collaborate on building their business, thereby building our business. But it's the success of our collaborative partners that dictates how successful we are. So that's what we're looking for, and all over North America, to include Canada. So that being said, today we're going to talk about scaling. What's that mean to you?
Scaling, I would say massive amounts of growth in a short period of time.
Okay. Well, that's what you want scaling to mean for you.
For me, yeah.
And I think another thing to address is entrepreneurship. I get the sense in the conversations that I've had that most real estate agents feel like they're entrepreneurs. I hate to break it to you. I'm not trying to criticize you in any way. But the idea of entrepreneurship's been around for a long, long time. The original idea around it was taking a resource and getting more from it. That first resource is yourself. maximizing you as a resource. And John and I are going to be talking more about this in the very near future, but that's difficult to do if your mindset isn't first correct. So entrepreneurship requires you to first get your own head straight and think in a particular way. And then you're going to take you as a resource and the resources that you have access to and do more with them. Another way that I saw that put more recently was getting back to scaling. An entrepreneur takes a business and scales it. That is the equivalent of getting more out of resources, right?
Yep. Scalable and saleable, I think, are the two keys there.
Yep. And they ultimately, in scaling, make it something, create an asset that's saleable. And so if that doesn't define you today, it can, starting later today or tomorrow, if you understand the value to yourself, your family, your legacy, and even our country and economy of you actually becoming an entrepreneur and taking resources, beginning with yourself and getting more out of them, creating more value. And so scaling in our sense really boils down to just growing your roster. I mean, I got a feeling over the next 24 months, we are going to beat that horse dead.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the key, in my opinion. That's the key to unlocking everything else, being able to scale and grow.
And we did okay at it. We had not created an asset that was saleable. Our asset wasn't worth anything. I think first of all, team leaders, your asset isn't worth anything. I mean, if I were to look at it as a, and I was just having this conversation with a partner of mine that is kind of a corporate raider, and I described what a team was, what its assets were, and he just kind of chuckled. He said, "I'd discount that thing so dramatically that nobody'd take me seriously as far as what he'd be willing to pay for." There are no assets. I mean, there might be a copier, but I don't even know today what assets or true assets a team has. They do have agents, but those agents aren't independently productive. They are dependent on the team leader or whatever that structure is to keep producing leads, that they're going to work at some level of efficiency in an attempt to convert some percentage of them. And he just kind of stopped me right there. Not interested, right? A broker owner could own a building, could have a few assets that. Now, if you're a broker owner and you're going to sell your brokerage, my suggestion would be hold on to the real estate and rent it to the new owner of the brokerage. Don't give up that appreciating asset, but that's probably the biggest asset that the broker owner owns for the business and perhaps personally. But you end up with the same problem. There's just not a lot of value there. And we really hadn't built anything, scaled it, but we were growing. But we did know, both from a ambitious perspective and a business perspective, that we were going to need to scale much larger, ultimately much faster and much broader geographically than we were. And I think that's where we began to say, yeah, how the hell are we going to do that?
Leverage.
Well, right. Well, but how we started out saying how we can do it on our own. How we going to do it as an independent brokerage.
Oh, yeah.
And we never really had answers to just keep working hard. Work harder. That's probably what we work harder. But we were eventually accepting the challenges in front of us. And to John's point, the real solution to that, which was leverage. And again, we're talking to all of you, but we're not going to resonate with all of you. There may be broker owners out there that are completely content. They own the building outright. They have no debt. Their profitability is 15 or 20% net with the 10 or 15 agents they've got. They're in their 50s or 60s. Kids are grown. I mean, they're just kind of riding it out. That's okay. Maybe a younger one that believes they're going to come up with something that nobody else has figured out yet. I guess I shouldn't say nobody else figured out what Gary Keller figured it out, but how did Gary Keller scale?
Through building his roster, bringing on more people to help him scale the business.
Well, he brought on more people. In essence, that's true. His way of building his roster was franchising.
Yep.
So he began franchising, and he began franchising regions in addition to brokerage, to profit centers, as they call it. Not uncommon, not getting down on him at all on that. But to your point, the bottom line is he grew his roster.
Yep.
Right. And he knew, and by the way, I think Keller Williams is very proud of, should be very proud of. They've got a pretty extensive world-class training resource, but still knew that that wasn't going to achieve the goals that he had as an entrepreneur. That might help some agents, and the bigger he gets, that percentage of agents gets larger in number. It may help some agents go from 1.5 million production to 2 million. But that wasn't going to reach Gary Keller's goal as an entrepreneur.
Well,
Go ahead.
you can't, at least I haven't found it yet, a magic pill or magic formula or system or structure that just makes everybody more productive. I don't think there's anything that we can do as leaders, broker owners, team leaders, manager, whatever it is. You give and give and give to people, what's worked for you, but unless they're willing to do the work, nothing will change for them. And the easiest way to grow that revenue to the point that we're trying to make here is growing your roster, bringing on more people through quantity. I don't want to make it sound like any person that can fog a mirror, because that's not the right approach either. But bringing on more people and through that quantity of having people join your cause or join that movement, you'll find the people, right? The cream always rises to the top. And you'll find the people that will do the work. You find the people that will want to build and scale with you. And, those are the people you really lock arms and run with.
Well, in fact, I mean, we at one time were very open to brand new agents. Just go get your license. We've got a field training program, literally field training program, compensation built into that, where they could have a check waiting on them when they got their license. But that was, I mean, we're not, now we'll still bring on a new agent, but we have a system that they get plugged into. And if they don't plug in and don't do the work, it's no skin off our back. I want them to win, but we don't control the decisions that they make and the effort that they put forth, period. And no matter what kind, you can change lead sources. You can bring in Tom Ferry instead of the other guy. It doesn't matter. All of that can represent a tremendous amount of cost has very little return as far as increasing sales, simply because most people won't do the work. And so we don't today we have a standard, if you will, for who we're looking for to attract. But they've got to have a track record. Now again, we'll bring on a new agent and plug them into a system. But if it's an investment from John or I of our time into them as a partner, they've got to have a track record of taking action, or they just get plugged into a system. Now, we've also got a lot of people. That system includes people. It's not a robot, because, again, we've merged into a national partner that, I mean, just keeps coming out really with more support type systems to support agents by design, because they know what mine and John's unique interests and unique abilities are, which are to scale and grow a roster. we don't want to be distracted from that. And I would suggest, and part of this conversation is that's your challenge. You're getting bogged down as a team leader or a broker owner in a lot of things that don't have anything to do with growing your roster, slash growing your sales, slash growing your profitability. And all these things we've talked about, from infrastructure to training to being the managing broker, all of these things are in that what we call the 80% of the activity that's not getting you where you want to go. And you could keep fighting and eventually maybe grow your roster to the point that you've got the profit to start to bring people in to do those things. But really, you need to have those things in place before you start to grow your roster, or you're going to have new people on your roster that don't have any support. So again, that was part of the reason we made the decision we made. We merged into a company it's all there, and it only keeps getting better. I mean, every day I see chatter, about whether it's our not DocuSign, but our DocuSign equivalent, whether it's our artificial intelligence platform, whatever it is, it's almost the minute. And oh, by the way, they've now got over 12,000 agents throwing ideas at them. What about this? What about that? And more times than not, it's either that's on our list to get done or that's rolling out soon. Right? It just blows me away. And all that's going on and I don't think about any of it except on those times when I catch that scrolling dialogue that's going on. I don't think about it.
Someone else,
but it's all. Go ahead.
Someone else no, I was going to say someone else is doing it for us. But then that allows us, it gives us the time to really focus on what's most important for us to grow our business, and that's finding more of the right who's.
And so we do have a standard of who is, which you should have as well. But then it is simply, and not all those who's are going to get what our vision is and make their own decision to participate or ultimately necessarily fit in. And so that's where the quantity of conversations comes in. But that's fun as hell. Our conversations all revolve around them, their goals, the plan they have to get to their goals. So those are fun conversations to have.
Yeah, you do that all day. So imagine broker owners, team leaders. Most of you are probably in a business operator position versus a business owner position. And we could spend probably a whole day just talking about the differences there. But high level, business operator means that if you stop working, the income from your business stops coming in, right? You are either a bottleneck or you are the main driver of leads, revenue, closings, follow up, follow through, whatever it is. Business owner has systems in place that'll work for them. And really systems in place that drive revenue, systems in place that drive scalability, drive growth, and even solve problems for you. So that way you can really focus at a high level and do the things you really want to do, the things that you love to do, which for us is help people identify their goals and then helping them build a plan to get there. But having that type of leverage in place has allowed us to get to more of a business owner position where we're not operating in the business. We're not building systems anymore. We're not having to come up with marketing materials. We're not having to come up with support, technology, whatever it is. All that stuff is being handled by someone else. And again, all we get to focus on is the fun stuff, identifying people that have similar goals, similar interests, want the same things that we want. And then how do we create the right alignment so that we can all get there together?
Which also a business owner owns a self-managing business.
Mm-hmm. That's where I was getting to, self-managing business. Perfect. So
imagine, go there. Imagine what? You started with imagine, kind of got into some definitions. Imagine what?
Well, imagine going from you're responsible for everything to you're pretty much responsible for nothing other than the things you want to be responsible for or choose to be responsible for, and continuing to transform your business or take it to the next level. Really, that's like, yeah, and my mind is spinning right now because I just did a 3-day workshop, um, learning from multi-million. I mean, every person teaching there is a multi-millionaire over and over a couple of times. So learning from those types of people is always enlightening, but it also kind of leaves you with a lot of ideas, right? But lost my train of thought on that.
Well, and so you were saying imagine if.
Well, yeah. So imagine if you go from being that business operator, quote unquote, bottleneck, or you're responsible for everything, to now you're responsible for nothing other than the things you choose to be responsible for and the things that you really want to do with your time and with your energy.
And I guess when we say what you want, we also mean what you're best at.
Hmm.
You
Which is
probably enjoy what you're best at the most. And maybe that's being a realtor. Uh, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you choosing, because you're now a business owner of a self-managing business, and you say, all I want to do now, I can't imagine being this person, but all I want to do is list homes. You would need to get the right who in place to do those other things that John and I prefer to do, as an example, in our business. But you could do it that way and do nothing but list homes
Yep.
if you've built it the right way and have a self-managing business that you're the owner of, with the right who's in place, executing the right systems throughout the day. And really the right who's go right down to every agent on the team, and they take responsibility for their own success. One of the big number ones on our standards list, if you will, take responsibility for their own success. You could have as big a business as you want in 50 states and 5 provinces, and you do nothing but list 20 homes a year.
Yeah. Well, and you could still scale that business with the systems that we have here. So one of the things that's really cool that our partner just came out with is what they call this was it agent accelerator, agent attraction accelerator program, where they're literally going to work with people that want to build one of these self-managing businesses and help them go attract their first 5 agents. So what does that actually mean, and how can you leverage that, or where's the power in that? So let's imagine you're a team leader or broker owner and you have 5 people on your team. You come over, you have those 5 people that can get plugged into a system that someone else is going to train your people on how to do agent attraction and grow, that you get all the benefit from. 5 people could easily go to 25 people. And then those 25 people could plug into the same system. And then those 25 people go to what? 125 people. And now you've got 150 people that you scaled with in a relatively short period of time. Maybe it takes a year, maybe it takes 2 years. But how much different would your life be if you had 125 or 150 agents that you now shared in the revenue from, that someone else, a system built for you? And you got to continue to focus on and do the things that you love and you're passionate about.
Which could also be fishing, painting,
Whatever.
whittling.
Teaching Pilates. There's they gave an example over the weekend. Some guy ran into a girl teaching a Pilates class, and come to find out she's financially free. And he's like, "Well, why are you teaching Pilates?" She's like, "Because I like Pilates." That's why. She doesn't charge. She just teaches classes because that's what she loves to do. Her self-managing businesses fund everything that she does for her life. financially free, just teaches classes. So whether it's teaching Pilates, fishing, painting, whatever it is, the systems and the proximity to the people that have those systems is what's going to allow you to get there in the time frame you want. I mean, what you can get there in 30 or 40 years, saving your way. I don't know anyone that wants to wait 40 years to be
You're talking about freedom?
financially free. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't really think there can be a better note to end on than that example. So what we're leaving you with is, if Pilates is your thing, why don't you build a business that allows you to just do that all the time? And I think we've got somebody on our team that's likewise with yoga. She
Yep.
just wants to teach yoga. Well, and again, if you're that person that wants to just do 20 listings a year, plug your people. We have another system that we're still going to take advantage of because it's exponential on top of what we do ourselves. All we're going to do is feed the system. Keep feeding the system. You may not keep, like John said, you just plug 5 agents in. Most of you and most independent brokers, independent brokerages, I'll have to look at those percentages, but you're either at or close to 5 agents. And I bet they're not all productive, but they all know other agents. And up until now, you've not leveraged them in any way to grow your own roster. You plug them into our system and keep doing what you're doing, and our system is going to grow their rosters, which is growing yours, by the way. And if you've got an agent that attracts 5 agents that plug into the system helps them attract 5 agents. That agent now has 30 agents on their team. And that's and I had mentioned at the very beginning, this is how we'll close. I mentioned at the very beginning the survey that I was going to do. When it comes to predictable, consistent income, which in good times, maybe not too many agents are thinking about, but they're all thinking about it right now because we at the bottom of that roller coaster. That small team structure that you can plug into a system to create that you benefit from while you're still doing 20 listings a year, to that agent on your team that utilizes that themselves, now has a $75,000 a year. I don't want to call it something where we get legally in trouble, right? But it's similar to a pension or something like that. And whoever thought a real estate agent could end up with a pension, with pension type income?
We did 10 years ago.
We did. So if any of this has resonated with you, we're looking for you. We'd like to have a conversation with you. Again, that conversation is going to be about what, John?
Your goals and a plan to help you get there. Really,
Your goals.
to become free. I mean, that's our mission is freedom. We're looking for people that want the same thing.
So our conversation is going to be about your goals, a plan to get there. And if you're like us and that goal is freedom, then that's the plan. I'm good.
I'll close with this. If you like the video, like the video. If you want more of this stuff, subscribe to it. And if you feel like there's people in your network that might benefit, feel free to share it with them.
And comment. We'd love to hear from you. Questions, we'll answer them. If we get enough of them, end up perhaps doing a whole session on that. But we're looking to collaborate regardless. But obviously, if something's resonated with you and we might be able to collaborate closely as partners, then let's pursue that. All right, partner. It's been real.
See you on the next one.
Was that a pun intentionally?
Yeah.
It sure was. Ciao.